Hi, and welcome everybody to the Winner Circle Sports Betting Channel. My name is Ross Benjamin, host of the show, and we're live. We're live, folks.
Yes.
So welcome aboard, and we welcome all your questions and comments, whatever you just keep it respectful, and we'll answer all of them to the best of our ability as long as we have time. So your chance now to chime in. A lot of you have chimed in on our archives, and that's great, and we try to get back to each and every one of you as best as can on that as well. But sometimes, there's not enough time in a day, right, Sean?
Yeah, I was going through a couple of the past videos, ours and yours with Doug and Chip and Paul. So, you've talked about how the channel's like just grown just in the last couple weeks, like hundreds of subscribers, and the comments are in the dozens, like we're in the 50, which is I think's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I watch other channels. There's not 50, 60 comments after the fact where people are responding. It's good stuff. Listen, there was the Auburn fans came out of the woodwork for our show, and I'm like, and we're just you're talking about a team covering, but folks, it's covering spreads. It's not, and somebody's like Auburn's the teams you mentioned are the top team. I'm like, yeah, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State. Yeah, what? Why would they be their playoff team? What are you talking about? How is Auburn the top team?
Yeah.
Sorry, Auburn fans.
Yeah, I mean, I get that they got a new coach, and I get that they brought in people in the transfer portal. But by the same token, they were 5-11 the last 2 years in SEC. So I don't know where.
I think Wilcox is 10-4 as a home dog against the number, and we're spread betting here, folks. We're not saying
that's the thing. Jesse. They keep mentioning. A lot of people keep mentioning players. Did you know they have so and so? Did you know they have? Look. If you know it and we know it, you don't think the odds makers know it? It's all incorporated into the spread, okay? Our job is to beat the number. Now,
well, that's what I told them is if you feel disrespected, if you feel that your team is disrespected, take it up with the bookmakers that set the line because they're setting a number that says your team is expected to cover this amount of points and we're just reacting to that. So we're not setting the line; we're reacting to it.
Exactly right. And at the end of the day, it's not like we're writing your team off for the year. We're not telling you that they're not going to have a winning season. We're not trying to tell you that that they're not going to be improved this year from last year. So in any event, so here we got a comment here, Jeff Hanna. It's blind fans getting emotional over their team that looked good week one versus a trash can. Well, I mean, in Colorado's case, that wasn't. I mean, they beat, I would say, a pretty good team, TCU. I'm not sure. Let's put it this way. I'll go out on a limb and say TCU already. If you just saw what they did last week, it's going to be a winning team, but they're not going to be a national title contender. Obviously, losing game one put you at a distinct disadvantage in that regard. And we're still at 4 teams making the playoffs. Now, when 8 teams make the playoffs, Sean, whole different story. You're not written off after one loss anymore.
Well, depending on who you are, Ross, it's going to go to 8 teams. It's going to be Georgia, Alabama, LSU, somebody else in the SEC, whether A&M or Volunteers or who's ever good, Auburn. It'll be Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan, and one random. Maybe Texas is good in the SEC. Maybe it's USC. It's going to be the one loss writes off 99% of teams unless you have the committee in your pocket. There you go. Too much. The truth hurts. It does. Yeah. It does. They don't. And if you're that much into your team, just bet the win total. Bet the season win total. It'll take you to January. You'll be happy. You don't have to worry about them covering numbers. You can just say they win the game. You win the game. That's fine. I had a friend. He was a big Notre Dame fan. He wanted to every week. I'm like, fella, bro, what? Why lay 36 against Navy or whatever? I just threw out a crazy number. I know it was 20. But you're laying point spreads. Just go a win total on your favorite team for the season. If you think they're that good, win total. How many times are you going to put this guy up? Switch it, Ross. Switch
it. The thing about TCU is I think people forget how many games TCU won last year that they had no business winning.
Yes.
I mean, this team was a fraud right from the get. Now I'm going to get TCU fans after me, but even last year when they got to the big game, they weren't the second best team in the country. Far from it, in my opinion.
Never in doubt, Neil.
Yeah.
Never in doubt. That is the best. That's the line right there. Never in doubt.
So Neil says Lions +7 for 800. Never in doubt. I don't know where you got 7. I know it closed at 4. I know it was 6.5 early in the week, but
Maybe he bets early, Ross. That's a 7 opener.
Yeah,
maybe he watches Midday Money and look ahead lines.
Maybe he watches it back in August and take the Lions +7 right here. It's only going to come down. People are going to bet the Lions.
Yeah. So congratulations anyway, Neil. Yes, there was a impressive win for the Lions last night. And
Neil, here's a spot here for next week. You have the Lions are a 3-point fave. Maybe you'll find a 2.5 next week over Seattle. Here's your time to get them, because depending on what happens with the Seattle game, that line will probably go up, because people will be like, wow, they beat KC, and then it'll go into how they beat KC by having a tipped pass for a touchdown, really only having one good drive to score. You know, it'll flip to how bad they played and still won, so they should probably be more of a favorite over, it's only Seattle, and we just beat Kansas City, and you beat the Rams.
Yeah, I wouldn't overreact one way or the other. I mean, I wouldn't write off Kansas City because they lost their opening game, and I'm not going to anoint Detroit as the NFC North winner. So it's easy to overreact from week 1 to week 2. Just be careful. Love the 4D handicapping system for me. Love betting trends. Just keep in mind, Anthony, it's not a betting trend. It's a betting angle. I mean, betting trends have to do with specific teams. Betting angles have to do with all teams, whether it be in the NFL or college football. It has to be specified. All teams in that exact situation. So understand the difference between a betting trend and a betting angle, because not a lot of people really understand that. So I appreciate the comment, though. Let's see if we got anything.
Let me ask something
else.
here. Are you gonna tease Anthony's emoji there for having a shiny head? I didn't shave my head this morning because I didn't want it too shiny, Ross. This guy's a Ross Benjamin supporter, so he won't get teased for his emoji shiny head. Sorry, Ed. I know you have a shiny head in real life like me.
Yeah. You know, Sean's been doing these live shows for a long time, so he couldn't wait to tease me about taking the comments and putting them up and taking them down. So you're going to have to bear with me a second, folks, because, ordinarily a guy would hit you in the comment section to say, Ross, take it down. But because I tease him so much, he can't wait to get at me. So
I can't help it.
It's all in fun, guys.
Did you see that one comment was like, I watched for 33 minutes. I didn't learn anything. And I don't want to comment until we go like 3-0 or 2-1 or something.
Yeah.
Like, if you want, I mean, I don't know. If I'm watching a show, I don't want just somebody pouring numbers down my throat. Like, you want some laughs and like something you can listen to and smile and have you got to entertain. Than the show, I think. No,
you do have to entertain, because when you entertain, it's not about you. It's making a connection with your audience.
Right.
And we get a lot of comments back and getting a kick out of us teasing each other. And folks, the show doesn't exist without you. The success of the show doesn't exist without you. So
I say that all the time in my show. It is.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's somebody watching it.
Yeah. If we're not trying to make a connection with the audience, Sean, we're not doing our job, correct?
I agree.
And Jesse, we got one for you here. So my dog of the day tomorrow is Washington State +6 versus Wisconsin. I like them outright. Personally, a little sprinkle. What you guys like?
Yeah, I'm not sold on Washington State, especially coming off that win over Colorado State. You can't say we learned anything about them beating Colorado State. Wisconsin, the new coach, the new quarterback. I mean, it's a nice looking home dog, but I couldn't get down on Wisconsin myself. Or sorry, I couldn't get down on Washington State against Wisconsin.
I got a premium pick on this game. It's up right now at gamblersworld.net. And by the way, folks, Gamblers World is our sponsor. And gamblersworld.net is where you'll find 10 of the finest handicappers in the country, including us three. and we give you our personal guarantee there. If you don't if you don't profit or win on a daily multi-game package or single game package or any subscription plan or 30 days or less, we will not refund your money, but we will credit your account the exact amount of your purchase price. I have a pick on that game, so Sean, I can't comment too much further. Anything you want to add to that?
I'm all for the home dogs, and you have the quote-unquote ranked team, right? Wisconsin, I thought maybe start a little slow because you're breaking in a new system. You're getting away from pound it, and kind of throwing the ball a little bit here. But like Jesse said, you beat Colorado State, and I had Colorado State. I thought, hey, you keep the quarterback upright, you could probably put the points on the board. The defense, holy cow. I thought I get to see my son's high school kicker is on Colorado State. I don't think he came out. I don't even think he might have did the kickoff. I missed it. I tuned in to watch the kid play. Couldn't see him. They did nothing on the board for him to come in and kick.
Yeah. If I would have known
I'm all
that,
for taking Washington State as a home dog when they've got a quarterback like Gardner Minshew or some of the quarterbacks they've had over the years, Connor Holiday, Falk. They've seemed to have a ton of quarterbacks in that when they were playing the air raid, and that you could sort of depend on to move the ball at least, put some points on the board. The guy they got now is inconsistent. You know, he has his good games, his bad games. The offensive line has a tough time keeping him upright. I'm not sure I'm ready to sign up on Washington State right now.
I have a betting angle on that game. It's a real good one, and it supports the team that I'm supporting. So if you want my opinion on that game, you can certainly get it. It's included in my 3-game package on Saturday night in college football at gamblersworld.net. All right, pounded sports betting. I'm just going to toss $100 on fading Colorado State, a pure overreaction to me. Colorado State or Colorado? I'm not sure.
Colorado State because they look so bad.
Yeah, all right. So Colorado State.
I'm gonna say we'll hit Neil one last time, and then we'll talk some NFL. He said he took the Lions bet in July, so good for Neil being smart to jump on something early and having the foresight to be like, you know what, I think it's gonna move. Good for you to having money in your pocket. A lot of people don't have that to bet 2 days out, more or less 3 days out, or 6 months out. So Neil, you're doing something right. Good job to you.
All right. Jeff Hanna, Purdue, UConn, Old Dominion, all decent short money line dogs to me. If they're going to give you the points, in my opinion, take them, folks.
Yes.
Don't get greedy. But again, I wish you a lot of luck, Jeff. One more here in college football. I'll let Jesse answer this one. JT Brew, Troy, Baylor, Michigan, Pitt, Mississippi State, Air Force, 6 picks in all. Anything that stands out to you among those 6 picks one way or the other, Jesse?
You're getting some good numbers on Baylor now. I see it's up to 8.5, some books. Michigan, that's
it's got to be a parlay. It's got to be a 16 parlay. It's going to go 5-1.
Yeah.
A parlay with Michigan money line or something. Yeah,
I'm assuming it's some kind of parlay. It's
Air Force against Sam Houston State.
I like Sam Houston, although the line came down.
Yeah, Sam Houston got shut out last week, but they covered.
Yes.
They played good defense against BYU. So that's an oddity in sports betting when you have an underdog and they cover even though they got shut out. So there you have it there. What do we got here? The team coached by
he's fading Colorado.
Yeah. So
off the overreaction.
All right. So you're talking about Colorado, and I agree with you on the overreaction, but we've been getting beat up all week, and I think that the Colorado fans and some of the people out there think that we're totally against the Colorado program and we hate Deion Sanders. Well,
that's not it.
Sean Higgs will tell you he's the #1 Deion fan, right, Sean?
I like Deion a lot. I've always liked Deion. It's about the crazy number. This was a 5-win team and it came out like 5.5, and they're like, wait a second, you're going to have 80 new guys on your team. It'll drop to a 3.5. You're a 20-point dog, you win. You were a 7 or 8-point dog to start this week on the opening number. That's a 10-point swing. And it's come down to 2.5 now as well. I thought I saw a post on Twitter before that they have more action on Colorado and Nebraska than some NFL games this week.
Yeah.
That's Colorado's insane.
Colorado's getting pounded too.
And the line's coming down.
Yeah. So
It's coming down from a
I'll
5.5
point out
to
the
a
two
2.5.
major line moves in week 1 and week 0. We saw Utah come from -9 to
But that was on a
-3.5
quarterback,
or
though. That was
4.
on a quarterback.
That was on the
That wasn't on any
quarterback.
play.
And there was a sharp correction at the end. It went all the way back up to 5.5, I think, before game time because
But that
sharp
made
money
sense where
came in on Utah.
probably should have been where.
And of course, Utah ends up covering the original line, and then the other one was Stanford, Hawaii.
Yep.
Stanford -10 goes to Stanford -3, and Stanford covers the original line as well. So you can't be fooled by these line movements sometimes.
yeah, you got to read what those line movements mean. Like Sean said, one was predicated on the quarterback, Cam Rising, being out. And like Jesse just said with the Hawaii game last week, that line, the original opening line, went back before Hawaii even played their season opener. So you got to account for these types of things when you see a line move. Just don't automatically jump and think that's sharp money to move the line 6 or 7 points. When there's that big of a line move in college football or the NFL, you could rest assured there's some underlying circumstances beyond money being bet or sharp money being bet or whatever have you. Lines just don't move like that at that kind of disparity. For just because there's a lot of money being bet one way. All right, let's get to our NFL picks, folks. Sean's going to be looking at the Monday night game between the Bills and the Jets. Jesse will be looking at the Titans and the Saints. What's so funny, buddy?
So Aaron wrote, "Is that Higgs wearing a dress shirt? What is that? What's the special occasion?" I guess he comes in, he'll see midday money. I just got the little midday money on, the T-shirt on. It's like,
anyway,
I got to pop my collar here on the show. Like,
yeah, I'm very proud of these guys. They've been dressed very well over the last couple of weeks. And
I do have basketball shorts on, everybody. I'm not sitting in my underwear. I have basketball shorts.
Chip Chirimbus, he puts on a shirt and tie, and he's in his boxer shorts. So it's about what the part of the body that can be seen. Jesse, you'll be looking at the Titans and the Saints, and I will be looking at the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Sean, we're going to lead off with you. The Bills -2.5 on the road, 45.5. It's 9/11. Obviously, we all know what that means in this country. A very tragic day, and it'll be emotional in New York City on 9/11. I don't know how much that will carry over to the players as much as it will the fans. And if the fans are juiced up, certainly the Jets will be juiced up. But in any event, Sean, it doesn't matter what I think about this game. It's what you think.
Well, they're going to be juiced up anyway because you got Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and they have high hopes out there, right? They're better than Dalvin Cook. They're like, look at us. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's a whole nother show. We can talk about that. I'm going to look at the under here. Give me the under. I am not buying Aaron Rodgers out of the gate. Yeah, he's got some familiar receivers. You still got a running back working back from injury in Hall. You got another running back in Cook who is never healthy. So what are you getting out of them? Their defense is good. The defense is elite. Even if they drop down a tick here versus Buffalo, fine. It's a lot of points. And the Bills, a lot of drama in the offseason now, right? There were quarterback and wide receiver over his girlfriend. I don't even know what the heck's going on. I don't have time for my kids' drama. I definitely got no time for this guy's girl drama. I'm going under. I think the Buffalo defense is good. I love their head coach just as much as like the Jets head coach. Two defensive guys, even though Buffalo relies more on Josh Allen to get the job done there more offensively. But I'm going under. I have the under on the sites. That's it. Under the total. You get it. Free premium pick from Higgs. The Higgy Bear with the under.
Well, Sean could give up premium picks once in a while because he's a volume handicapper. I don't have that luxury, nor does Jesse. But God bless you, Sean. That's very kind of you to give out a premium pick.
We got 14 of them. Actually, 13 because we cashed last night. First game of the year. 100%. Better than 65% last year. We're 100% already.
And you had Detroit last night?
Under.
Okay. Yeah, I had the over. So I got off to a bad start, which is unusual for me in September, but that's okay. Jesse, Jets and the Bills. Sean's referring to the offseason drama with the whole Stephon Diggs situation and him being unhappy and Josh Allen now dating a model instead of his high school girlfriend. and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about what goes on the field. And I being in Western New York, know personally that situation got blown way out of proportion, way out of proportion. My concern here is this: no Von Miller for the first 4 weeks. Buffalo has to prove to me that they're going to have a pass rush. Now, this is coming from a guy who's been from a kid being a Buffalo Bills fan. If they can't get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, this game is going to go over because the Jets are going to score a ton of points, and B, Buffalo's going to have to match them, which they're capable of doing offensively. But let's not jump to the conclusion. Sean likes the under. I'm not saying I like the over, but what I'm saying is my concern is the Buffalo's pass rush and the fact that Tremaine Edmonds, their middle linebacker, that's been calling the defensive signals for the last 4 or 5 years now, he opted for free agency, and Terrell Bernard, a second-year player out of Oregon, is going to be their middle linebacker. So some concerns on the defensive side of the ball for the Bills. Jesse, what do you think?
I've got a couple concerns, and they're a lot simpler than you guys. I have no idea who these guys are dating. I'm surprised that you guys do. My first concern, my primary concern, is this Aaron Rodgers experiment. Is it going to work? Is it going to be effective? And I have some serious doubts. I really do. The guy likes to go to Burning Man and do ayahuasca retreats, and I'm not 100% sure that he is the guy that's going to come in and lead this team to the Super Bowl. So that's my first concern. And my second concern is, even if it is a successful transition, Rodgers comes in, breathes some life into the franchise, takes them to the playoffs this season. Is it going to happen in week one? Because I think we've seen Rodgers before in week one throw up some really bad stinkers, especially after he's been off gallivanting all summer and not really taking training camp very seriously, appearing in costumes looking like Nicolas Cage and doing Jeopardy and doing all this stuff that doesn't have anything to do with football. And then he comes out and throws a stinker and says, relax. And everybody's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, look, he's so cool. But I don't know if he's going to be cool in week one against the Buffalo Bills, and my money would be on Buffalo.
Yeah, when Josh Allen gets a contract the size of what he got a couple years ago that kicked in last year, and he dumps his high school sweetheart for a model, I don't know how I don't know the specifics of the whole situation, but there's been worse things that have been done by NFL players over the years than that. Neil says that's the game. I may have overdone it betting on this summer. Bills -1.5, 16 for 1,600. I don't know. I mean, right now, Neil, you're looking pretty good. You got it at 1.5, and it's 2.5. And here's the other thing. I know that Doug has mentioned time and time again, with no offense toward me, that he thinks that the Dolphins and Jets will be the teams to beat in the AFC East, and Buffalo is lucky they get a wild card. And you know what? I'm all for it, okay? Because they got so much hype last year, and they still won 13 games, and they lost. They got blown out by Cincinnati at home in a divisional round, and everybody's writing them off. It's all about the Jets. It's all about Miami. Be careful when you poke the bear, folks. That's all I can tell you.
Miami, is Doug familiar with the quarterback situation in Miami? Or
yeah, well,
I know Sean Higgs has got some opinions on that.
Yeah, well, Tua is one hit away from another concussion, and I hope that doesn't happen. Okay,
so you hope he doesn't get hit. You hope he doesn't get hit, Ross.
That's it. Hope he never gets sacked.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you're going to get hit. So,
buddy, slow down. You don't get a concussion every time you get hit.
That guy does.
Yeah, well, that's right, Sean.
He's had 3. He had at least 3 last year.
If I could finish my thought, okay.
No, not that Tua can't get hit. No, you can't finish that.
You guys are unbelievable. Anyway, see what happens when you got to take it because you give it out. So that's the way it goes.
It's live. You can't do anything. We're live. They can't cut it out. We got him, Jesse. He's on the ropes. We got him.
Anyway, no, I mean, I don't want to see a guy get hurt, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of people said that he should have hung him up, and that might prove to have been good advice. So sometime
at least
throughout
last
the
season, hang it up for the season. I mean,
Well, ironically enough, it was the Bills game last year when he originally got hurt and they put him back in the game. That was the most outrageous, outlandish thing that I ever saw in my life in the NFL, especially in the modern day era where you have this protocol and you got people in the booth
Yes.
and they call down and say, this guy took a hit. You might want to check him out, put him in a tent. I mean, he got up and staggered 2 times like he just got hit by Mike Tyson in a boxing ring. And
I mean, you guys are familiar with the Eric Lindros story, right?
Yes.
And this is and the reason I bring up Lindros is because I can't think of an NFL player that I've seen have this sort of exact concussion situation. But Lindros was the best player in the NHL.
Yeah.
He was well on his way to being another Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky type of guy. Scott Stevens hit him a couple times on various different occasions. Scott Stevens, a mean defenseman for the New Jersey Devils, and the guy was never the same. I mean,
hockey, right?
Just basically ended the best player in the league, ended his career right there. He played for another 4 or 5 years. He wasn't the same guy. It was over. It was over.
Yeah, and you know what? Eric Lindros was 6'5", 240.
Yes, he was
and hockey players are maybe average around 190, if that, okay? 185, somewhere in that area. Especially in the modern day, right now, it's all about speed. And you see a lot of guys 170, 175 thriving in the NHL right now. It's a different game. And it's not like he was going against he wasn't 6'5", 240 playing quarterback in the NFL, getting hit by guys, linebackers that are 250 and can run a 4.4 40. You know what I mean? Or a 300-pound nose tackle. So all points well taken. My only point that I was not able to finish my thought on was that I hope for the betterment of the game that Tua can stay healthy. Do I think he may over a 17-game season? I would bet against that happening. And that's unfortunate because if he's on the field, Miami is a whole different team and they don't have the backups that are conducive to and the other parts on defense that are conducive to them being able to win without him. I joined the Gamblers World pool that Ross is hosting. Try and win some free money. I agree. So I did get in that contest as well, by the way. Another question here is Javier Fuentes. The Steelers plus 2.5. Your thoughts? Well, I mean, if you go to our video yesterday, I believe, Doug Upstone covered that game, and he does like the Steelers. So that's all we have to say about that. All right, let's get to the next game, which will be the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints. The Titans or the Saints right now a 3-point favorite in 41. You know, to me, they're giving Tennessee way too much credit here. I think New Orleans is a lot better than people are going to realize, especially when it comes to being a legitimate contender to win the NFC South, which I would bet my money on the fact that they are going to win the NFC South at this juncture. But is this too short a line, Jesse, or no?
It sounds like you made my pick for me, Ross.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if you knew this about me, Ross, but in my teenage years, I was a big Tennessee Titans fan. The Steve McNair, Eddie George era. I don't know if you remember that. There was one game in particular. I believe it was like a playoff game. I can't remember who they were playing.
No,
please, but they went down by like a few points right before the final kickoff with just a couple of seconds left.
You guys are really hitting me below the belt today, man.
You know what? I was at my friend Greg's house. We were in the basement of his house watching this game, and I got Tennessee, and I go crazy. And after I left, and he had the game too.
Yeah.
After I leave, he's like, his dad must have been like, I think Sean's a gambler or something. He was going crazy. He had no idea that him and his son me riding for like 1,500 or something crazy back in the day.
Were you a teenager at the time, Sean?
I believe that.
No, I was like 20 probably.
Yeah,
I the game over too, right, Jesse? If I'm not mistaken.
Geez, I didn't even look at totals back then. I was so green, Ross.
Yeah,
I probably had $100 on it maximum at the time. And one of the reasons that pushed me over the edge to bet on the Titans was I was pissed off at the Buffalo Bills that they weren't playing Doug Flutie. So I would bet against a team when they piss me off and do something like that.
Yeah, well, they Rob Johnson. They put in after Flutie started
a USC
all year,
guy. I'm shocked.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, that's not a fond memory, Jesse. Anyway, you want to
sorry,
talk
Ross.
about you want to talk about your analysis in your pick?
All right. Okay, so I have been a Tennessee Titans fan over the years. I'm a big Derrick Henry guy. I could take or leave Ryan Tannehill. At the end of the day, he's only really had one good year in his career, in my opinion. Certainly only one good year at Tennessee. He's been dropping off a cliff of late. The Titans' offensive line is one of the worst ranked offensive lines in the NFL. Derrick Henry's 29 years old, and there's a handful of guys that have success running the football 29 and up in the league, but it's a few and far between situation. You see you look at guys like Todd Gurley. Where's he? A lot of these guys.
Similar type running back, right, Jesse?
Yeah. After 27, 28 years old, they burn up. And when you're playing behind one of the league's worst offensive lines with a quarterback that's not doing you any favors, I agree with Ross. I think Tennessee's getting way too much credit. And I know they added a wide receiver that people are excited about, but if you can't keep your quarterback upright and your offensive line's in shambles, it doesn't matter. I'll take the Saints. Derek Carr I'm not a big Derek Carr guy, but he's dependable. At least he's the kind of guy that, you can usually count on to move the ball and at least beat bad teams.
Yeah, and the backup plan for New Orleans is Jameis Winston. Now, again, we all know his past history of sometimes he can go a little colorblind and throw to the wrong jersey. But at the end of the day, you could do a lot worse than Jameis Winston as your backup. But I think Derek Carr, to me, is going to thrive in this situation. It's sometimes just a change of scenery. And, at the end of the day, it's not like he failed miserably in the Raiders organization. He just didn't get him to the point that they wanted to get to. So I think this is a more complete team, New Orleans, than he played with last year with the Raiders. And is Derek Carr going to be a factor here for New Orleans, Sean? Or is and the receiver that Jesse's talking about that Tennessee added is a good one, and DeAndre Hopkins, but he's in his 30s now. Anyway, Sean, what's your thoughts?
I actually lean to the dog here. Now I got again a lot of games. I bet we had 14 total. This is not one of them, which is weird. I don't have anything on a game. I like the coach for Tennessee. They always seem to kind of be there, ugly or not. They're just in 3-point games. Now it's come down to it's 3.5 down to 3. And the Saints, I think people are loving Carr. I mean, I don't know. Kamara's out, right? He's suspended for a little bit. Michael Thompson has come back from an injuries again. You got Olave. The defense should be okay. Right? Who's that? Dennis Allen's the coach over there. He's a defensive guy.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. I'm not sold on the Saints. I mean, for me, Tampa Bay to win the South, baby, 10-1. I'll go with Bakersfield. 10-1, Tampa Bay.
All right, JT.
We got some horses in here.
Yeah, Delmar. Thank you for sharing that, JT. But we're talking football today with all due respect.
Feisty Might-all.
Yeah, I got a hot tip for you in the fourth at Delmar. It's a horse called soldering iron. Anyway,
soldering iron.
Yeah.
Can we talk horse movies and how Let It Ride with Richard Dreyfuss is absolutely one of the best movies of all time?
Soldering iron, hot tip, Sean? I know the
hot tip, soldering iron. Yeah, I get it. Hot tip, yeah. I know what soldering iron is.
Yeah, okay. I just was wondering because I know sometimes your vocabulary gets limited, but that's okay.
Oh, here we go. This guy's joke.
I just figured out all those times he was calling you genius, Sean. He was being sarcastic.
Yeah. No, well, like I said, my wife says I got a pea-sized brain.
He's a sports betting genius. There's no two ways about it, Jesse. So are you. So am I. It's just the other facets of our life sometimes lack a little bit. So I
if you ask me to hook up a TV and stereo system, you're in big trouble.
Nail two boards together for crying out loud.
No, so can't change the oil in my wife's car.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I mean that sincerely with Sean. He's a bright mind when it comes to sports betting, and I
got a lot of useless knowledge. I used to read encyclopedias when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade before I go to bed. Like I had my headboard had like whatever, a little shelf in between. So I had encyclopedias. I'd go through encyclopedias to put myself to sleep.
All right.
I'd be good on Jeopardy. Useless information. I'm your guy. 80s movies and useless information.
All right. So reviewing, Sean likes the Bills and the Jets under 45.5. And Jesse likes the Saints minus the 3 over the Titans. And I like soldering iron. It's a hot tip in the 4th. Let me get to my NFL pick, though. Dallas at the New York Giants Sunday night game. Dallas minus 3.5 and 45 right now at Caesars and DraftKings. Here's the thing. We talked about NFL betting angles and, home dogs. Kyle Hunter brought it up yesterday, and I'll go one step further. Home dogs in week 1. Division home dogs in week 1 are tough to play against. And this situation to me is no different. Since 2009, okay, game 1 division home underdogs are 22-5 against the spread. That's 81.4%. Not only 22-5 against the spread, but 16-9-2 straight up. Yes, there was 2 ties mixed in there. And if they were a home underdog of 5.5 or less, they improved to 17-3 against the spread, 85%, 15-4-1 straight up. And if they won 3 or more games a year before, and they're an underdog of 5.5 or less, they now improved to 16-2 against the spread and 15-3 straight up. And under Brian Dable, in his first year as head coach in New York, the Giants were 7-1 against the spread and 6-2 straight up as a dog of 6.5 or less, which they will be on Sunday night. The Giants lost both matchups last year against Dallas, 23-16 and 28-20. Both one-score games. They did not cover on either occasion, and so they got big-time revenge going here. They're a playoff team from a season ago. Dallas, I'm not writing them off whatsoever. This is a one-game situation. I could see Dallas Cowboy fans coming out of the woodwork on this one, and that's okay. But since 2004, division home dogs of 4 or less that lost both games to their opponent the year before again, that's division home dogs of 4 or less in game 1 since 2004. They lost both matchups versus their opponent last year, or the year before, I should say. 4-0 straight up in ATS since 2004. Hasn't happened a hell of a lot of times, but when it has happened, the underdog not only covered, they won straight up, and they won straight up by 12 points. I'm going to make it real simple. Numbers don't lie and liars don't figure. I'm going to take the New York Giants plus the 3.5 at home against Dallas. Sean?
Yeah, I'm as a Cowboy fan, I'm leaning Giants here. I do lean the Giants. Dallas has owned these guys. 9 out of 10? They've crushed them. But the last couple of years, look at these scores. You mentioned 28-20, 23-16, 21-6. I mean, there's one blowout in there, 44-20. A lot of low-scoring games there. Giants' offense is sputtered. And, yeah, they should be a little better year 2 under the head coach. But also, Dallas got their own new coordinator. So, you're getting 3.5, home puppy. Got a lot of pent-up frustration for sure if you're a Giant fan, losing 9 out of 10 to the Cowboys. So, I don't hate taking the Giants with it. I got no side on it. I didn't bet anything myself on this game, but I do lean with the G-men a little bit.
Updated information. Soldering iron was scratched due to a 3rd-degree burn. Thank you, JP. You're a wealth of information, my friend. Anyway, Jesse, your thoughts on the Giants and Dallas as well?
I won't have action on the side or total in that one, but there is one pretty good bet, in my opinion, and that's Tony Pollard anytime touchdown minus 110. And for those of you who are interested in the player prop market and anytime touchdown bets, I've noticed over the last few years since these bets have become more popular, it seems like the sports books try to suck you in, reel you in by giving you good prices in week 1, week 2, get you into betting these anytime prop bets, and then come week 3, week 4, these primary running backs are 2-1, 3-1 to score a touchdown. So get in while the getting's good. It's cheap to back Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard ran for over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns as a backup last year, 3 receiving touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott had 12 touchdowns as the guy he was splitting the carries with. They were pretty much even in carries, but that's 24 touchdowns between the 2 of them. Zeke's not there anymore. Pollard's going to get the majority of those. I'm not saying he's going to get 24 touchdowns, but he's going to get more than he did last year. And at 110, that's a steal, in my opinion.
There you go, Tony
He
Pollard.
gets 24 touchdowns. They're winning the division. I'll tell you that.
He had
gets
quite a
24
few
touchdowns.
last year, didn't he, guys? If I'm not mistaken.
Nine rushing and 3 receiving. Zeke had a dozen because they
now
were
he's looking at
cherry picking and giving those touchdowns to Zeke, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't disagree with it. He's going to have I think he's going to have a tremendous year. Tony Pollard, very underrated back, and we'll see more of him now that he's going to be the feature back in Dallas. So all good stuff, guys. Again, the Jets and Bills under 45.5. Jesse likes the Saints -3 over the Titans. I'm going with the Giants +3.5 over Dallas, folks. If you were with us last week, we did 6 shows. 3 of those shows were 3-0 sweeps. So we're doing our job here. But at the end of the day, these free picks are great. Just remember, our best picks are at gamblersworld.net. You get our personal guarantee that if you don't make a profit, we will credit your account back the exact amount of your purchase price. You can use that anytime you wish on any one you wish. So if you lose with Sean and you want to buy from Jesse, you could do so. That's fine. If you lose a $199 7-day package with Sean, you could spread it across. And I keep picking on Sean. If you lose a $199 package with me, how's that, Sean?
I don't mind. It's all right.
You could spread it across and use it on daily or whatever package you want to use it on. So take advantage of that, folks. You're missing out. For those, I know that people, guys, a couple of guys have been chiming in, and you know this is going to happen because there's a lot of bitter sports gamblers out there that just have not found a way to win themselves, so they can't believe anybody else does over the long term, and that's understandable. But hopefully, when you say that you got to be a fool to pay anybody for picks, no, you're a fool if you don't pay to cast the characters we have at our site at gamblersworld.com. You may feel that way, but you're foolish because you're leaving money on the table and you're losing money. So in any event, that's what you have. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please take a second to do so. If you're on your PC, you'll see a WC logo there on the bottom right-hand corner. Click on that. That'll get you subscribed. Again, folks, absolutely free. There's no strings attached. There's no hidden agenda. You're just privy to the best sports betting information you're going to find in the best show on the internet right now. You're going to find in this format. So, again, you can watch Midday Money with Sean every day. It's a whole different format that he runs. Jesse Schule does his picks every day, 3-4 minute videos, free picks every day at his YouTube channel. And also you can get that at gamblersworld.com as well. Jesse's been posting his videos up there as well. So in any event, we'd like to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed recently and have subscribed over the years. We've had over 850 new subscribers the last I checked over the last 28 days. And folks, we can't thank you enough. And also all the subscribers who have been with us for a long time, you're what makes the show go. There's a like button underneath, and this is Jesse's specialty. He tells you what to do with the like button every day.
Smash that like button.
Okay, not that I didn't want to hear that, but his decibel level gets in. All the wildlife in the jungles of Thailand have just woken up, and the chimpanzee is asking his sister where he could find the like button. So there you have it. And now the children in Jesse's house have awoken, and his wife is perturbed, and that's the kind of sacrifice he puts in for this show. So until the next time, which will be on Monday, I'll be back with Doug Upstone on Monday. We'd like to wish each and every one of you have a fantastic weekend. Knock them dead in the NFL and college football this week. And if you want to knock them dead, gamblersworld.net is where to go. For Sean Higgs, Jesse Schule, and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.